Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hi,
Hello,
Damien. Hi,
hello,
Mustafa.
Mostafa. How are you guys?
Hi, Damien. How are you guys?
Good,
All
Happy to
good.
good.
see you again.
Yeah, it's. I was thinking it's almost 1 year that we were together at Rise Up at the pyramid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We met
almost a
last
year.
year, guys. Look,
Back 1 year.
that's our anniversary. Celebrating our anniversary in
Yeah,
the live stream.
you're right. Let's celebrate. Let's do it.
Interesting. Okay, so let's start. I think, Damien, the microphone you have this time.
Yeah, I'll start. So we always go through Cogya very quickly. So we're a startup studio with just to get back, we help entrepreneurs, startups launch their idea with various services by building their MVP with their app, with the team, their marketing, and also helping them to get funded. So that's what we do, and that's what we love to do. And then we need great experts and partners like Mustafa right here, who's an expert in B2B sales. He's the founder. I never know if I say co-founder or founder. Maybe that's that's an insight, but Mustafa will present himself. He's the one that leads, that gets the business running, would say, and he's an expert in B2B sales. So I'll let you just do a quick snap of what you do. You'll talk well of yourself, Mustafa. Let's go.
Thank you so much, David and Muhammad, for this amazing invitation. And thanks to Kugia for allowing me to give me this opportunity to be with you today. So yeah, I'm the one who runs the operations. I founded the business, and then I got a good advice for someone. If you want to thrive, it's not about the position, it's not about the title, it's about what you actually do, and put yourself in the place where you can add the most value. So after I founded or co-founded the business, me and my co-founder actually decided that it's best that I stay in the operations, in the core of the business, and which is what I do best, which is sales, pretty much, and that's what I do. So I manage the sales operation for more than 15 businesses, delivering amazing services in all 100% B2B. So yeah, it's a journey, and I love it.
Yeah, I think,
Thank
and
you,
what I like
Mustafa.
with you is like we were together, and I like how the way you were triggering me and tickling me on getting the value proposition of what we were doing, like how you were going to be able to say it correctly. So you got me shaked a little bit. I remember that one, but also I'll shake you with a few questions today. Now it's my turn.
It's better that I shake you with a few questions better than clients and people asking you. So it's always better to come from
Yeah, that's
when you're speaking with your lawyer, if you're heading to some sort of a case, and they start shaking you and start asking you all the dirty questions, better than you get asked these questions in court.
in court.
And so that's the way I see it. So
Yeah,
the
but you're
sales
right.
the
It's a
sales
great
meeting is
approach, and
a
then
court after all. There's the judge, and the client is the judge and the juries. So it's better that you get to be ready to be asked any question, because the demo is usually, or the discovery meeting, or you have like very few minutes to make an impression whether you're gonna be guilty, or you're the right business to work with.
Interesting.
right. Yeah, good approach.
That you started the best starting for a live, just getting in action, just acting as very professional B2B sales expert like you. That takes me to the first and the most important point I think you can advise us and advise our audience about, which is the the best or the ideal or the proper B2B sales strategies that you can find is recommended for businesses nowadays, and especially in this kind of time, to maintain the momentum for both the sales team and the business itself. What do you think?
Like you're a business expert. You're much better than me and Damien as well. And you know that the word ideal doesn't really match all doing here. So there's no ideal sales strategy, but what I know best is that you should have a clear sales strategy to be able to thrive in this world. We're talking about thriving, not even surviving. So there's no such strategy that you can call it. This is the best thing to do. But if you don't have a process, if you don't have a plan, you're missed. Let's call it like this. Like you're gonna be missing a lot, and as you can see, there is a lot of challenges that are facing the business ecosystem worldwide due to the recession, due to the political situations, due to the complicated environments worldwide. So you shouldn't be one of your own challenges, and like there are enough external challenges coming in, coming out from all over the place. So don't be your own challenge, and have a clear strategy for what you're planning to do. What I always say is that having even a bad plan or a bad strategy or an old strategy, like an old school thing of like a very simple sales process, is better than nothing. Is better than going to your office or going to your business or to your clients every day without a clear plan or a clean strategy. I would go with the worst, with no tools, with the worst plan ever, but at least have a plan. I know that if one thing happens, I will do the other thing. If this other thing happens, I will do X and I'll do Y. And I can't, I always have to be prepared. And that's actually where we started, Damien. Like when we were talking previously, and that conversation he was highlighting in the introduction, I kept asking all the questions because that's the little thing that you can do. You should at least be prepared for what clients have to ask, or what their concerns are, or what differentiates you. You have to be prepared with some sort of plan, or how are you going to answer the client's questions, and know yourself very well and ready to take other people's challenges, not your own challenge.
And what do you exactly like mean your plan? Like it's like a scenario, or it's like your value proposition to be very clear, or like what does if a client or if a lead answers this, what do I reply? What do you call exactly like a plan? Mustafa, on what's the basic plan you need at least I would say even.
So the basic plan you need to know is why your business exists, and who do you serve, and why do you serve them. So for example, you started Cogya. So you saw a problem that some entrepreneurs have, and you know their challenges, and you decided to solve these problems for them. So the first thing to know is the problem that you're solving, and which are the best group of people that can actually benefit of your service or your product. So what I've seen, especially in Sales Cubicle, for many of the businesses that we worked with, or some of the businesses that we actually rejected their projects, is that they don't even know their ideal customer profile. So a lot of entrepreneurs in fell in this trap where you tell them, what do you guys offer? They tell you, for example, we customize software solutions. For who? They say, so anyone can be a customer for us, because
Anyone.
everyone can
I
be.
think that's the worst thing you want to hear. Anyone who's your customer, anyone.
Yeah, exactly. For a salesperson, this is a nightmare. They think that they're opening the spectrum and giving that I'm going to be very happy when they tell me that their product or their service actually works with everyone. But I know that nothing works for everyone. Even if it is, you should actually classify and prioritize the target segments that you want to target. And people, they always, the biggest problem that salespeople face is that entrepreneurs always think that they know the answer, that they have done the segmentation, because they said, for example, we're going to target the FMCG industry. The FMCG industry is so huge. Okay, you have to break this down. Like what business size of FMCG are you targeting? and who's the best person to talk to offer them your service. So this is the base. Who's your ideal customer profile? And the second thing, or maybe it even comes first, what's the problem are you going to solve? How are you going to make their lives better? Because a lot of people, like, when what you just mentioned, what's the plan? You yourself just mentioned that what should you be prepared with the value proposition that you're offering? No, I would say that you have to master the problem you're solving. You should understand the problem from all the perspectives first, and then talk about the products or the features. Because what's going to grab anyone attention is that you understand the problem, not that you understand your product. Everyone expects that you understand your product very well, but do you understand my problem? That's what's actually going to trigger me. That's what I care about. So if for example we assume that Sales Cubicle is a client, I don't care if you, Muhammad, understand what Cogya can do very well. I want you to understand what I'm suffering from very well. So when I know that, when I see that, this is where I'm going to believe that Kugya might be able to help me. Not because they mastered the product, because they actually mastered my problem. They understand my problem very well. So they got the respect and the attention that I'm going to give them, because I will listen to you guys, because I found or I felt that you know my situation, you know my problem, in a world that's full of salespeople trying to sell us shit every moment.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we always try to educate our clients, that we are building products and building businesses to solve problems, to satisfy some pain points for the customers. We're building solutions and businesses for clients, not for us. That's a trap
Exactly. We're
many
building the
people.
product to satisfy the client problem, not satisfy your ego.
Exactly, yes. That's another story.
Yeah, yeah, because that's one of the biggest issues, that you feel that some of the entrepreneurs are actually trying to bring in the best solution ever, while from their perspective, like which are you're talking about, like, it's very simple. It's like you're getting support from your friend, okay?
Mhm.
Or we have like a cliche here in Egypt, where we call it like the art of bringing gifts. So if I'm planning to give Damien something, I'm planning to give Damien something that Damien will love, not something that I will love. And that's the narrative that needs to change. Like, I'm trying to build a product my clients will love, not something that I love, not something that I adore, the 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 product that I have built myself. No, or the design. I need to care that my client will love the design, not me love the design.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like what you said, because it's very, because I, since I know you, it's very authentic. Because when I was there, you remember this gift story, and you told me what's the gift you wanted for your family and all that, and I said, oh, I need one, and you narrow it down like a sales guy. And what exactly would you have pleasure? And I remember that it's authenticity. That's what you exactly you said, and that's what you do in business. So I like your I
Did
like
you
your
like the gift, by the way? We never had a
yeah, yeah,
chance
it
to
was great. Yeah, it's great. It's here. I can show you.
great.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember you were saying, no, no. But which one do you like the best? Which one do you like? And you were triggering me like that. Just like you just said for the business. What we have to do. So yeah, that's authentic. What you just said. That's just
Yeah, so I think that should be the plan. So I should know the problem that my business is trying to solve very well. I should live in that my clients were it in their shoes, understanding what are the obstacles and the challenges that they are actually facing on daily basis, and then I choose the group that I'm gonna serve them the best. And that's another problem. Like, usually when businesses do segmentations, they try to find the most profitable segments, and the most profitable segment shouldn't also fall that under the umbrella of the segments that you're going to serve them well. So I would always say to my clients that they, for example, they think that Right now, in the entertainment industry in Saudi Arabia is booming so much. There's a lot of money spent out there. So they want this part of the cake. So I stopped them and asked them, like, do you have what's gonna make them happy? Like, did you serve any entertainment business in the past, doing events, etc., like doing
Yeah.
sports events? No, I didn't. Okay, so why do you want to do this? Because it's profitable. Okay, so as much as it might seem profitable now, but if you don't serve them well, it's gonna cause you a lot of losses.
Yeah. After. Yeah. It's all.
Exactly. So I would always go with something like, who do you serve best? How did it work with you in the past with these segments? So do you understand their problems very well? So that's the most profitable segment for you. Like, it's not the profitable segments in
Yeah.
general. It's what
And as we
actually
say in
suits them.
yeah, in this state, when you have an acquisition of one client, he's going to be cheaper to acquire. It's going to be more costly to acquire a new one than work with that client that you already acquired to sell other things and all that. So the acquisition cost of the customer. So if you delivered well and you did a good job and you continue like that, it's a real great sales business because it's going to be a referral, ongoing, and all that, and it's going to be cost effective also.
Exactly. And another point that's very important, that you will save the cost of the learning curve. Because if you have worked already for a couple of years with the mining industry, for example, so you know the pain points for this industry very well. You know their world, you understand their problems. But if you decide to shift into a new segment in a whole new industry or in a whole new business size, like sometimes you think that because you have been working with the, let's say, the technology sector for the past 10 years, that you understand the technology sector very well. No, maybe you were working with startups from the technology
Yeah.
sectors, and startups in the technology sectors things completely in a complete different way in compared to medium-sized businesses of 100 or 200 people. And the mid-sized business of 100 to 200 people thinks completely different in the same industry, in the same location, the same domain, than the enterprise level. So every change you make into your ICP actually affects your business, affects your sustainability, and it's a big decision that you need to take carefully, because it will affect a lot of things. And the cost of it is not just money, it's time that you will never be able to bring back. So you would spend 3 or 6 months, 1 or 2 or 3 quarters trying to sell to a new domain. If you didn't take this decision carefully and it didn't work, the knowledge that you have gained trying to sell to a new domain for 9 or 6 months will not come back. Like, you will never leverage this again, and the time will never come back. So first thing, know the problem that you're solving, categorize and classify the people you can actually serve and provide the service to. And three, put this in a very clear document, call it an ideal customer profile. Put everything you know about this customer, the problems that they're having, the story that they're telling you. Narrow this down, so you can actually benefit from this learning curve that you have built. Because when you focus on one domain and one ICP, one ideal customer profile, you actually get to the first conversation and you get to hear things you never heard before. And the second conversation, it will not go well as well, and you will get some objections that you will not have answers to. And the third conversation and the fourth conversation, you will lead it. It's not the customer who will be talking. So from conversation one, two, and three, you have got some learnings that you're going to share with the client, will actually respect you so much and start giving you their attention, because you have said, you've used their jargon, you have stressed on the pain points that they actually really share and they really have. And from there, you'll be able to move the deal forward.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a good recap at the end. You're totally right on that. And you talk about like the basics, things you need or to start, but like right now with all these AI tools and this innovative approach, what do you think which is most like effective or constraints in our environment? Like, do we have to use these? Does it go fast for the sales? or you can go with the basic? What's your opinion about that?
No, definitely you should actually try everything. At least give it a try. Like I'm one of the late adopters for technology in general, and Muhammad knows this very well because he knows me from like I don't know like 13 or 14 years so far. So you have to open your mind and see what's there and give it a try. Like and it's very easy because actually most of the sales tools out there gives you a free
Yes.
trial. Yeah. So at least give it a try and see how this will actually affect you. Like I was my journey actually for 7 or 8 years of my experience, I never used any sales tools whatsoever. Even LinkedIn, I wasn't active on it, and I never used it for prospecting whatsoever. Okay, and that worked. Like I was still cutting, and I was still getting the results that I was able I was supposed to get, achieving my targets. And then when you go from an extreme to another, so once I started to know that there's tools, I thought of using everything. And when I started Sales Cubicle early on, I was like a kid. I have a budget, and I want to get every single sales tool out there. And I found that a lot of them were actually waste of resources. Not because the tools are bad, but you don't need all these tools. But you need to try them, and some of them will actually give you some benefits, and some of them will have drawbacks depending on your style. So I'm one of the people who actually care so much about personalization. So we have to personalize the messages and the outreach and the touch points we're doing to the clients. So too much automation can actually affect me too bad. So I need the tools that actually can help me and save the time and to fasten the sales process. At the same time, I can't get all the tools that runs automatic sequences, send automatic emails, send automatic LinkedIn messages, etc. Because that will actually kills one of my biggest competitive advantages, or one of my biggest advantages in general, that I can personalize good messages.
Yeah, that's
So
good because we
AI
were like in
tool, I use it to rewrite my emails. So for example, if I want to write an email to Damien, I put the content in there. I ask AI to refine it like ChatGPT or this other Google product Bard, and then I take it back, I edit it, and I send it to the customer, because it just put the email sometimes in a better structure or make it faster than I do. So instead of sending an email in 7 or 8 minutes, I can do it in a couple of minutes now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
it's interesting because it's I remember it's a conversation we had, and like in the marketing, I believe in the automation, it has to be effective and all that, but when it shifts to sales, it's kind of different. And I know you're a very personalized approach in the sales, and this is rare. And I remember when we talked about like LinkedIn and all these automations, and you replied to me like, okay, I prefer to reach like the ICP, I know 10 people on LinkedIn, and you will have a good rate instead of going and outreaching 100 and you're not in the good target, because you will have better result on these tens than on the one on the 100. So that's your approach, and
Yes,
you're right, and you're better because what's important is the closing rate after at the end, also on the sales.
adding to that, Damien, when you're working in the B2B industry, I would always go with prospecting accounts. We're not prospecting people. Okay. So right now, if I'm targeting Cogya as a business, so I don't know Muhammad and I don't know Damien, but I don't care who few will actually buy. I care that Cogya will be a client for me. Okay. So in that case, if I don't if I would rather spend more time researching 10 or 20 clients, and when I see that these companies are fit to whatever the product or the service, so the chance to bring them on in a meeting or in a doing them a presentation or giving them a free trial or whatever, the call to action that I'm supposed to give, any the matrix that I'm being judged upon is much higher, because I can study Cogya very well, and then I can try to find different people at the same company. And if if I'm using an automation tool, there is no way that's useful to automate a personalized message to 20 or 30 companies, because when we're talking to 20 or 30 companies, we're talking about 3 to 4 or 5 people each.
Yeah, so it's
So
very narrow. It's very
so
narrow.
if I'm automating the messaging, if I'm automating the outreach, all the research that I have done have gone to waste. And instead of coming to Damien, hey Damien, I know that you're in France, and I still saw your partner, and your kitchen is actually in Egypt and in different places all over the world. And I seen your previous webinar with Mostafa Husseiny, and I know that you're actually interested in this and this and that. So the probability that Damien respond to such a message is much higher than getting, hey Damien, I looked at your profile, would love to pick your brain at some point, blah 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 blah. If you have a room for 15 minutes, let's grab a virtual cup of coffee. Because I'm sure if you open your LinkedIn inbox right now, you have a bunch of these.
Yeah, it's
But
like
if
doing
you
your homework.
actually get
So we can.
someone who has researched your business very well, I have seen that you have gone to Quantec for an MBA, blah blah blah, and you have done this consultation for this business. So you feel that this person is not going to waste your time like the other person. So yes, the automation tool would actually save a lot of time and send 100 of messages in few minutes, but it will kill it will kill the conversion rate, because out of 100, if you're getting 2 or 3 meetings, what if you get those 2 or 3 meetings from 10 or 20 companies? That's a much better conversion rate.
Uh,
Interesting. I think building on this, Mustafa, as well, the one of the challenges that many business face, what we call in the sales field, the playbook, the sales playbook. How do you think the playbook should be customized for any business, and how crucial is this playbooks is needed for any sales team, either the internal teams for any business, or even when the business thinks to get an outsourced help with some other people? How do they should customize it, and why do
So
you need it if it's needed?
the the first question should be, who should create the playbook? And I would love to reverse questions to you.
Sorry.
Who should create the sales playbook? That's the first question. I would love to target this to you guys
Yeah,
first.
the sales playbook, as per our executive MBA, for instance, they were advising us that the sales playbook should be built in house for any business. Any
Mhm.
business and any business owner should have the learning and the knowledge on how to sell his product first, before hiring a sales team in house, or even to look at an external agency to sell for them. That's why it's not an easy task to do. And part of this playbook is the ICP and all the aspects that you were talking about. But that's why it's is it crucial to customize it, and how do you customize it for your clients if they don't have this kind of playbooks?
Okay, so I really wish that all my clients actually have studied their executive MBA with Quantec, because that piece of knowledge is very so
the
fucking
sales guy.
valuable
The
for me.
sales guy from
Yeah,
Canada.
I think this is one of the biggest problems, that this is one of the main problems that contributes the most of the turnover that happens to salespeople, because most entrepreneurs and most business owners thinks that the sales playbook, just because it's called sales, it has to be created by the salespeople. Well, it's the sales playbook. It's like, let's call it the sales manual. So the first question Muhammad asked is, should it be customized? Yes, definitely it should be customized. You can't launch a product with using your competitor manual. You can't launch any product and get a simple manual online. So that's your sales manual. That's how your business sells. So what are the components of it? What are the problems that you're solving? Like the first part of
Yeah, yeah.
the that, like what are the problems that you're solving? How are you solving it? To who you're solving it? and how you're solving it, and who's your ideal customer profile. And more than that is, so you know that your, let's say your ideal customer profile is a CFO in a business from in a medium-sized business of 50 to 100 people, that they work in the technology sector in Saudi Arabia, and they target XYZ. So how do you reach out to them? So what are the best practices? So big part of it is actually built before salespeople come in. So what I always say to people, or to business owners, about the sales playbook, so you should have the first part, and you should understand if you didn't do the rest of it on your own, so you should allow your sales team 1 quarter to 2 quarters to build the rest. So you need them to reach out to clients via phone, via LinkedIn, via email. Try different lead sources and see what actually works best, and then document this, and this can at that point becomes the Bible, your Bible. So any
Yeah.
salesperson who comes in, that's our ideal customer profile, and that's the way we reach out to our clients. And this is out of a lot of experiments. This sales process is the best one. This is that worked the best and helped us close most of the deals that are very profitable to us.
And do you think like including maybe it's silly for you the question, but like including the scripts, or do you like having like the sales guy to have like a very specific, or I would say like border
I,
script?
I, I
Is
really
it
love
that
to,
in the
yeah,
playbook
yeah,
or what's?
I love to do it like this, like an experiment document. So we have sent this emails, and that was the conversion rate. And we have done 100 calls, and this is like the script that we have used, or the code flow that we have used. And this is the conversion of this one, and this is the conversion of this one. This is really hard for salespeople, by the way.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
because
need
you
to
play like
assist them
in
with
a
the
box.
sales support or the sales enablement team, because if you just do it this way, if you expect salespeople to do this level of documentation, you're setting yourself to failure unless you have a very strong and easy to use CRM. But yes, definitely, I recommend that you put everything that you have done in the playbook as, again, like as an experiment document. So we have tried this good call script, and these were the results. We have tried reaching out to people on LinkedIn with that title, and these were the results, etc. So when you keep documenting everything, you have got yourself a very good material, and then you can have your business analyst analyze it and tells you, so after 6 months of doing this work, this is what we have reached. So I remember very well Muhammad have asked me a question early on. I think that was almost like 6 or 7 months ago. He said, like, what would a salesperson do to not get fired other than getting the revenue or getting the deals closed? I said, like, one of two things. So whether you sell and get me the target, and I'm telling you, even the most process oriented businesses in the world will not care so much how did you get these deals closed. Okay, that's one. Or get me a reason or the insights why we weren't able to sell.
Yeah, and the
Something that's factual, something that's actually documented in a neat way for a business owner to understand. Oh, okay, so it's not the sales problem, it's something with the product, or it's something with the process, or it's something with the environment, or it's something with the economy.
yeah, here you're talking about like also in the sales to have like data driven decisions basically based
Exactly.
on your data and your thing. So after all, this is great. Tell me, uh, give us like we all know that right now the budgets are tight everywhere, like tighter in the marketing, so in the sales and all that. Do you have like few tips like to out to reach your we talked about that ICP, our ideal customer profile. How can we prospect them with a like with a tight budget? What are
Okay. So one of this economy blessings is that LinkedIn is still for free. Like there's a still free version of LinkedIn. So I want to start to answer the question with a quote that I don't know where did I get this from, but it's always on my mind. You never You never yeah, it's a busy car. It's 10:30 in the evening, but okay. So you never stop the clock to save time. Okay. So if I want to save time, I'm not just gonna remove the battery from my clock. Just okay. So now it's gonna be 10:30 for another 30 minutes. No, you're fooling yourself. Okay. Same thing. You don't got all the marketing and sales budgets to save the cost because man, like that's how you breathe. That's how your business will sustain. So number one, I'm against that the first unit that people actually save money on is marketing and sales. If the recession is killing your business and you're stopping your marketing and sales activities, you're putting it into grave. You're not giving it a chance to fight at least. So you're killing it 100%. But and yet you can work and operate with minimal resources with absolutely close to zero. You have LinkedIn, you have filters, very easy filters. So start, follow a process. A process will cost you nothing.
Yeah,
Stop
so
using spread and pray thing, like connecting to 100 people, sending them shitty messages and waiting for someone to come and buy. No, that's your that's like I don't know, betting or something. So you're waiting on the odds that one of the 100 people or that you can connect to per week on LinkedIn actually comes and buy and solve your problem, and this is not practical at all. Okay, they have filters. Follow a process. A process will cost you absolutely nothing. Say I'm gonna target this industry. I'm gonna only target people from this industry. I'm gonna only connect using my LinkedIn free version this people, and I'm gonna have multiple free accounts on Seamless AI, on Apollo, on Datanize. There's a bunch of tools that can actually gives you 50 credits for free just for a free trial, or 10 credits. Accumulate them and get 100 contact every month. But make sure that you use this with a process. And then use the regular email. You don't have to get a marketing automation tool to send an email. You already have the tools. Use them and automate them.
he'll be back.
Yeah, I think.
I think here he was when he's back he was talking about what she was saying is like we use this word in growth hacking strategies in marketing, but he was almost like going on growth hacking sales strategies to like with few steps, like trying to find with a few tricks to use the tools you have in place, and you still can have like a great results on these ones.
I think there's
Ah, connection.
uh,
Yeah, it's back.
um, let's give him a chance to check his connection.
Technical always happen. We didn't have any technical issue right instance now.
Mhm. Yeah. I think yeah, he's right in terms of the prospecting. There are a lot of tools that can be used. Even we tried some of them, as you know.
Yeah.
The main crucial thing is not how to prospect, but as he said at the beginning, to have like a proper plan, like identifying who are the ICP or the ideal customer profile, like having a continuous channels to get more leads and more prospects. That's crucial to get the results out of any kind of prospecting. It's not the prospecting itself or the channel, but the sustainable channel that we need to rely on and acquire more prospects and leads to maintain the value we are trying to deliver for our clients.
Yeah, it's narrowing down, and we tried it and we use it, and especially he talked about LinkedIn, and now LinkedIn also got a lot of scams and spammed, and now it reduced to a number of limits, whatever plan you have. So it's to
Mhm.
use these limits correctly, and that's free because the question
True.
was what can we do with a limited budget if you use wisely your credits and free, and then after it's just automating. But that's what we say even with all the clients we work, you can automate as much like your sales or outreach as you want, but to be honest, maybe it will take you just like doing some copy paste and changing a few stuffs. It will just ask you like 10 minutes more. Just do it for free instead of going on. So you can a lot lower your budgets on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah,
He's right. He was right on that. Yeah.
that's very true. But you know, there's a question in my mind. I think we might ask him when he get back.
Yeah, it
Is
can
there
work.
a game of, or some cases you are forced to minimize or try to cut some costs? Is it a game, or the proper cutting cost, is it should be for the marketing side or the sales side? That's question
Uh,
for you, Mustafa.
I'm
You
back,
you
and I
yeah.
want to hear the answer.
You're back on the
Yeah,
tough one
you
here.
were saying, you were saying that some business leaders or some businesses started to cut off some costs in terms for the marketing or sales channels,
Yeah.
and that's not just cutting costs, that's killing the business itself. On that front, which channel do you think it's much more crucial over the other if we decided to cut some costs? Is it the sales or marketing?
Whatever that's not working, but the problem is like most of the businesses actually do something that's very funny for me. So they trust the marketing channel. So they think if they're spending $2 or $3,000 on Facebook ads, so that's Facebook. Okay, better than this shitty Muhammad that's sitting out there, for example. So they think that, okay, that kind of spending on Google, like everyone is spending on Google, but no one is spending on that salesperson outside other than them. So they think it's easier or it's better or it makes more sense to get rid of the salesperson better than getting rid of the spending they're doing up over like thousands of dollars, and we have seen this, like we have seen businesses who actually spend on Google AdWords and send on digital marketing ads tons of money, and when you ask them for a budget for a good salesperson, they say no, 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 that's very expensive, we can hire two people with that same budget.
You
So
know, but you know what? Because we had a talk of marketing with Madhu, and I think we have to do a big round table, guys, and we have to do like a little battle. Yeah, you're right. With
yeah,
marketing and sales, and we could have fun.
maybe that's the next webinar, but I prefer to have them in person so I can solve my problems with them after the webinar. So whatever, so we can have it like a
Yeah,
fight,
you're right.
like
We'll
a
stay friends
masters.
at the end. It can be a little, yeah, yeah, muscular or a little battle, but
Exactly.
it can be fun.
So I would go with a very reasonable answer. Cut what doesn't work. Okay. So if marketing have generated better leads or better or more business or more revenue to you than salespeople, so actually cut down the salespeople. It's coming from me. Okay. I'm telling you, cut the salespeople. If that's the case, but that's rarely the case. That's really the case because is it the spending that you're doing, is it the MQLs that you're getting from closing itself? No, there's a salesperson behind it who actually have done the sales process. So who's the real contributor? So you need
Yeah, yeah.
to think thoroughly and to get to the real answer before you get to such a decision. This decision is a very risky one and could actually, again, whether it's a fast forward button to death or to hell, or it's actually that's something that's going to save you costs and help you sustain your business for a bit more.
Yeah, we're getting back to data driven decisions. If you, which one was the best? What I believe is not in the startup because you do everything, but like in bigger companies, we see marketing and sales. I strongly believe these two have to work really closely together, and that's where it can come with a great result. And they don't have to do, oh, the market, oh, the sales guy, he has the cherry on the cake because he's the one that closed it, but maybe it comes from a marketing effort, and these two teams has to work hand to hand. That's for
Yes,
me
Damien,
what all this.
what you're saying have been actually is like a norm of what people are saying for the past 10 years. Okay,
Yeah,
marketing and sales has to work together. Marketing and sales have to work together. Like actually, like everyone thinks that marketing and sales are working together. Like so sometimes they
they're
give
not.
them yeah, like, oh, I see they're working very well because somehow like fights are associated to hard work and a lot of people mindsets. So if people are fighting so hard, that means that they're working together very well. But that doesn't mean it's not the same thing. But getting back to the point before the connection stops. I think what were the point we stopped at?
I think building on that point, before the connection stops, we might build on it, and we need to not know from you, based on your knowledge and experience and with the client that you provide your service for. How can businesses utilize and use the cold outreaching effectively without compromising the quality? That's the crucial challenge. And this is, I remember that was one of the discussions we have before, that the conversion rate is one of the crucial things that you're looking at your KPIs, not the conversion of closing deals, but the conversion of getting clients in a meeting. Getting like 100 leads and convert like 10 of them in a meeting is much better than getting 1,000 leads and getting the same 10. But how can the cold outreaching could be scalable for businesses without affecting the quality and without burning leads?
Okay, so you need to start from the very first point. Do you have the right ICP, or do you think that you have the right ICP? Okay, so you have always to come back to the beginning, to the playbook or to the manual or the first question that you have answered. What problem are you solving, and who are
Mhm.
you solving it to, and why your business exists? You always have to come back to the basics, to the
Yeah.
essence you build the business on. So I have to make sure that this is correct. So you start reaching out to the people, and the biggest advice that I would say right here is that you gotta say no. Okay,
Mhm.
because what happens is you get a meeting for a customer, so you think you have built the ICP, so stick to it.
Mhm.
Okay, you've built the ICP, you think that you're gonna work with people who have this problem and who wants this solution. Okay, so what happens is when salespeople start bringing in meetings coming from an outbound outreach, okay, so there's always some misconceptions. So, for example, if I'm doing an outbound reach to Cogya, and you guys have built this product, for example, the mentorship thing, okay? And let's say that this is the product that you're selling. And then I bring you a meeting, someone who wants a mentorship and wants a team to operate the business. So
Mhm.
what happens in most of the cases that not all the founders like you guys are very set and clear on what they know and what they want. So they would say, why don't we give it a try?
Yeah.
And then
They
they
come.
go divert their focus and they start doing something they didn't aim to do it at the beginning. Okay. And then it doesn't work. So who do they blame? The salesperson who brought this meeting in the first place. Like if you've told them stop getting meetings like this, he will stop. But if he sees that you're taking it seriously, he will actually start getting more meetings like it, because maybe he thinks that he's the saver, that he's the guy who actually invented a new product or put you on the right track while you were actually stupid and dumb and were going the wrong direction. So no, you have to say no to such projects.
Mhm. Interesting.
Understand. And you talked about like outbounds, but on what kind of shift in the inbound when managing your inbound leads. What do you recommend to maximize that conversion? If there's a, you talked about the playbook mainly, but what do you think? What kind of or shift we can do with the to maximize these inbound leads?
I would say, like, to maximize the inbound leads, like my expertise lies with the outbound. So I'm not the best person to advise on how to maximize the revenue out and inbound. What I see just as a businessman, like it happens to me, don't take it to granted. Like sometimes you think when someone calls you, that means that they're interested, that they're dying for you, so they're just gonna close once you tell them the rate or whatever they're gonna close. So you're gonna have to treat them with respect as much as you treat outbound leads. That's the only advice that I would give out. The thing that's only related to inbound leads from someone who comes from an outbound expertise is that do not expect the same conversion from outbound compared to the inbound, because most of the businesses when they start out they rely on the founder networks, and uh, I'd say, yeah. So they rely on their network. They would rely on the word of mouth, on the buzz that the business
Mm.
creates at the beginning, at the launch, and then they start closing these deals. Then, when they start to have an outbound sales team, they want the same results. So they tell you we convert 3 out of 7 leads comes to us in the past year. We closed 3 of them, but the 3 of them actually came knowing you, were friends with you,
Yeah,
they
it's
were
different.
spending
Yeah,
a day with you. Everything was different. They worked with you previously, or with your co-founder, or someone with the team. They came from a direct referral. So a lot of the work were actually done over years, which is like profiling you, trusting you, and understanding your business, because they were friends. So they didn't spend like 50 or 45 minutes demo. You actually stayed with them in a coffee shop or in a bar, and you've told them the whole story of the business. So they loved it so much. So they made the buying decision much easier. So you can't compare this to someone who, not you, actually, one of your salespeople have reached out to them in a cold way on LinkedIn and brought them into a meeting. They're very skeptical. They don't trust you. They don't know who you are. They don't really understand your product. And you need to give them a concise demo and a concise presentation about what you're doing and expect the same conversion rate.
right,
Yeah.
right. It's not to send flowers, but just to, it's not even a question. Is that just to say, outbound sales, it's a hard one. Just to, it's a very resilient work. Just not to say it on the stem, but it's a hard work, to be honest. The outbound, and it's a very resilient work. It's just not to jump on it, Mustafa, but just I wanted to say it because it's misconfused sometimes. It's not so easy. It's
I think as well, the one of the main challenges about this, the outbound channels for clients, that the clients, most of the clients expect to get the same results that they get from the inbound channel. Even the feedback or the perception of the clients they get from the inbound channel, they expect it will be the same. However, actually on the ground it's totally different. The inbound channel, it's someone looked at the website you have or know about your service from a friend, from other referral. That's totally different approach for the first meeting you can hold and manage for that client with someone he doesn't know about you before, or doesn't know about your service at all. That's crucial thing, and that what makes this kind of outreach is a bit tough for some cases. Yeah, I think we might ask you as well, Mustafa, for the B2B sales, which is, I see it, the business saver. Honestly, the sales overall, the sales is saving a lot of business if it's done in the proper way. It will get you revenue. It will save you from raising fund. Even you just need to convince a customer instead of convincing an investor. In that case, or by that line of thought, what are the key trends for the B2B sales you see nowadays, by all of this technological hype of AI, of automation, of even focusing more on the B2B part?
Okay. I love that question, and I think I love that it comes after the last question about the inbound leads. So why don't we start treating the outbound leads or the B2B sales the same way we giving the client the same experience of an inbound lead? I mean that we need to like, let's compare between the inbound and the outbound one more time. Okay. So the inbound, the main difference is that they spend the time studying your website, doing the research, understanding your business very well. Maybe it was a referral, so they got an experiment or from a friend of theirs who actually told them about the experience of working with your business. So why don't give the same experience to someone that you never met before? Let's start focusing on our websites. Let's start putting some case studies and use cases in the
yeah,
way of the client. So, for example, we before we like instead of thriving to get people to the meeting, to the first meeting, open the conversation, share a case study with them, share a use case with them, and tell them that you think that they might find this useful. Share with them free content that would educate them. Share with them some videos about the service or the products. share with them some testimonials from people of your clients, so they don't have to go and ask around and try to get some research themselves. Because the buying behavior of businesses is has changed a lot in the past 2 or 3 years. So previously, we would go to the client, tell them, "Hi, we do X, and that's how we do it, and this is why we do it, and this is our presentation, and this is our company profile, and that's it." So they would go and have an internal meeting. Do you think that we can go with these people? Do we have the budget? Yes, so that decision is done. Now the customer doesn't want to do this. They think that they can get all the information themselves. They want to
Easily.
do the research themselves, and they want to find out some things on their own about you, and then decide if they're gonna work with you or not. So you're
Yes.
gonna need to
You have to
pay
do the
attention
job
to them.
for them to access it easily, that they don't know.
Exactly, exactly, and not only on your accounts. You're gonna have to think of out of the box. You're gonna have to think of PR. You're gonna have to think of partners talking about you. So, because this is what they're going to believe. Like, for example, you always believe your older brother, not your parents. Okay. So you always go to someone, to a friend, not your family. Okay. So if I'm talking about myself, you have the tendency to think that I'm lying, that I'm trying to polish my scenario or my story. But you're gonna have to have what's in the background, like the background noise should be positive about me. So, for example, when I'm looking, so Cogya, I speak with Muhammad and Damien, and then I like what they're saying. But we have all been in that situations where we were talking to someone who seemed so good that we always say it's so good to be true. So we need to ask. We need to do our research.
We're
So
true. We're true.
when I'm doing a research about you, I'm not going to ask Cogya's website. I want to find this somewhere else because
Yeah, yeah,
from
on another part. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
because
exactly. So we have to look at our business from different aspects. So when people actually go and ask and do the research, they would find that what we have said is in synergy with what they have found online.
yeah,
And authenticity is the key.
yeah.
Like
That's it, totally. But be careful on your last point. You're starting to shift on the like a marketing guy. Just be careful. I'm just saying that so that so that you're be careful on that
the
one.
sales people are marketeers after all, they need like
Just to and to wrap up, this is something also we cherish, and especially in the startup world, we've been like there was this bubble of fundraising and getting a lot of money, and then we believe with Mohammed that we need to get back to basic business and a sustainable business that gets you revenue. And same thing on the sales. How can you? What are the key components for you to get a sustainable sales strategy that will not just last 3 weeks or 1 month, but you're on a good one and that's sustainable, you can count on it, and to grow your business with it.
so I think it's the last word that I closed with in the last question is it's authenticity. So you have to be authentic, you have to be real. So when I say that you have to put content everywhere and with partners and PR and focus on these things, make sure that you put this content and make it available to clients, but make sure before you make it available to clients that this is real, that this is not a lie.
Yeah, not a
Okay.
lie. Yeah, yeah.
That's this is lies is what kills sustainability. Okay. Because when people actually go and read something about you or a case study that you have shared or a use case or a testimonial and they try the service and they found that you're fake, uh, this word is going to spread much faster than anything that you would actually launch on yourself. And by the time you're going to find that partners and PR and everyone, no one doesn't want to work with you. So even if you come second in your market, say that I'm the second sales outsourcing agency in the MENA region, and we're trying so hard. People will respect this much more if you say that you're just number one, while you're not. If you have the best product in the market, say it. If you don't, we're trying to create the best product in the market. This trying word that you added to the same sentence will actually change the narrative and the perception people will actually see you, because we're living in a startup world, and most of the businesses, even the most established businesses, are trying and starting something new today. So we all understand the
Really.
concept of that. Cogya is trying this, and Sales Cubicle is trying this out. Sales Cubicle just doesn't have to lie and say, okay, we're the best at this while we're not. Like this idea of building the side hustle, or I think that the lean startup with you is that say that you're very good at something and get a lot of clients and then create it for them. I think it's time that we find another approach in pursuing business, because yes, this will start your business tomorrow and it will kill it the day after. And if you're calling this the day after tomorrow,
Yeah.
so that's what gonna happen after tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a fucking shutdown.
I think I was going to add on something, but you had the last word. I have to admit it. You wrapped it up like a king.
No, I think we have question for one of our audience. I guess Damien, you might need to add to this question as well, because it has multiple perspective to we can tackle on.
Yeah.
The question is how to identify the ICP if I'm a startup and I'm still not sure who should I target as a start. How can the startup early stage startups identify the ICP from your point of view, Mustafa, as a salesman?
Okay, so it's not about identifying the ICP itself. It's not about just finding out if you don't have this answer to the question. So how did you start the business in the first place? Like
Thank you.
let's go back. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the journey. So I decided to open Sales Cubicle. So the we're not selling tomatoes, okay? Like we're talking
Mhm.
about a startup that's built a product. So you had someone in mind when you built this product. Who's that
Mhm.
person? So
Okay.
if you don't have the
That's nice.
answer for this question, how did you start the business? Like
Mhm.
when you thought of, I'm gonna open a sales
I
agency.
like, yeah,
Okay,
I like
wow.
that vision, like to trust. Okay, when you thought the first time of your business, who's the person you thought of? That's a very good image. Like, okay, who's the guy
Exactly.
you were
Like what?
targeting at first? Because
Who
after, when you're
exactly?
moving on, your vision is like it's like biased, like because you're moving on and you're and go back to your basic. What was your first person you wanted really to that you have in mind that you wanted to? That's a good one.
Exactly. So that you as a founder should know the answer. So if you started, like for example, a company that actually recruit talents for businesses. So why did you open this business? Because you found a gap at a specific industry, as a specific company, that they don't know how to hire these talents. Okay, is this company? Is it? There are a lot of businesses like this one share the same case. Are they startups? Are they small businesses? Are they big? Are they huge? So who are you serving? So you thought of the idea the day you thought of starting this business. You said these people have this problem and I will solve it with this product. This these people are your ICP. Okay, so let's say you started the business, and while going through, you started to find like a lot of ideas, and people actually shared, and you know that this product would actually work with this, and this product would actually work with this, and this product should actually work with this, and you started to customize and make some changes to the product based on the insights that you were getting from the people you talked to.
Yeah.
So
True.
have you researched this thoroughly? If yes, so you found that this is a good segment, so this is your ICP. So this is something that you do not find as a salesperson. This is something you find as a founder in the first place, as a business owner.
Yeah,
You
and al-
built this
and
ship
also we
to serve
were.
people. Who are they? You tell me.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
and it's also I think too that's what we all with the time doing your good homework before, which is the market research. Who, what pain point you're answering to who and why, and like do surveys, go outside of the building, like a famous lean startup said, yeah, go outside of the business, interview. What do they want? What's their pain
Well,
point,
it's
and
not
what
if
do
you're home, because most of the founders are working from home now.
yeah,
So
but they must. Yeah, but that's a new trend. Now you must get out of your building.
yeah,
That was
you gotta
no,
get out of your
but
bed,
yeah,
literally.
or at least that's
Not
very
other.
important. Yeah. Like we move now. We're moving.
Yeah,
No, that
I think.
and that's a good point because when just interviewing like that on just on the phone, and then we had this with Mohammed when we were in Dubai a few months ago with real people, and we got insights and we were testing some stuff, and the value also really asking head to head things outside of the building, they're a lot valuable. So if you can, yeah, that's also a thing. Try to mix, not all the time because we're on remote work a lot now, but if you
No,
can
but
really
even
have,
I disagree with you. If you're on remote work a lot nowadays, like we have abused this
yeah,
idea of remote work and working from home and like I actually worked for a fully remote companies for a couple of years after COVID, and I worked for companies that were enabling remote work a bit more. And with all due respect to these companies, like I've put it on my LinkedIn profile that a remote work enthusiast. Okay, and I believe that's because I was thinking to be the best employee ever at that time, and I thought that as an employee working from home, it serves me very well. But I'd love to say it out loud. If you're an entrepreneur and you're working from home all the time, something is you're missing out. You're missing out. You can't be
Yeah,
working from bed and expecting to know your ICP. You're gonna be in the
mhm,
on the roads, outside of the building, outside of the bed, having conversation in events, talking
yeah,
to people, getting insights. Because if you're not doing this, another one is doing that. Believe me.
yeah,
And
true, very true.
yeah,
the
especially
time that
now.
you
Yeah, yeah.
from your
Maybe
comfort zone at
people are
home
going
at
back
in
to
your bed,
basics. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
someone else is doing this.
Yeah, I think as well for this question because it reflects in in my mind as well for the business side. I guess not. I'm sure, honestly, not guessing. I'm sure that identifying an ICP for any business, it's part of the business validation. You have to validate your business by getting and identifying the ideal customer profile. And this is part of the product market fit journey. Even if you started with a typical ICP in your mind and it didn't work, you have to pivot, you have to make some changes, and you have to look at other options and other alternatives till you find the best customer who will paying for your service, and that's your ICP. Then you need to replicate this ICP and start grow your business. That's the only way you identify the ICP. It's not just filling a playbook or filling some documents. It's a journey. You have to discover, you have to get out of the building, you have to get explore what are the type of customers they might be interested in paying for your service. I think
Yeah, I
yani, this could
agree
be
with you.
our closing for this great conversation and discussion. And I like the idea of having another call, like
you
fight
want the
between
battle.
the
You want the battle.
marketing.
We
Yeah,
need a battle. Get me a
Yeah, we need it.
marketeer. I'm
We
ready.
need it.
I'll get my
Don't
people.
perfect, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Mustafa, for being with us, and thank you very much for these insightful thoughts and insights you shared. There are many comments across different channels. The people are adding as well some comments about and agreeing a lot about some points you've shared. Thank you very much again, and hopefully this we can repeat and have much more talks and much more lives in digging in deep details about the B2B sales.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you, guys.
Mustafa. It
Thank you,
was a
Damien.
pleasure for our 1 year anniversary.
Thank you, Habibi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Thank you all. Have a good
Bye
one.
bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.
Next visit.